So, who is this?
Oh, this is the little creature known as the Yoda.
I tried to make Baby Yoda, and it sucked. All right, maybe it didn't like suck, but I mean, it kind of sucked. So let's talk about that. So I've been making these projects in my free time and trying to make different kinds of videos to share with people and try to share things I learned, helpful stuff, help people with their own art projects and goals. This project, I think, kind of became about failing. I think I failed on this last one. I wasn't happy with it. And so I thought, let's have a chat about it. So we're gonna talk about my last project, which was a Baby Yoda. I tried to make a Baby Yoda from the show. So real quick, I'm a fan of the Mandalorian show, as a lot of you guys are, as a lot of people are. And I love the character of Baby Yoda. And I recently got a Baby Yoda of my own. And I just wanted to take a crack at it. A lot of great artists already did it. It's so good. But I tried not to think about it. I just followed that impulse, to learn some stuff. And I did learn some stuff. That's what this video is gonna be about. But I wanted to share my failure and some early poopy looking renders and just talk about the creative process and how sometimes it's uncomfortable and sometimes it doesn't work out. You might think, but there's always an upside. So here's the final render here. This is what I consider the final image, and I did post this on Instagram. So that's kind of where I left it in terms of publishing. So this is the final one. I got a couple in here. I just posted that one angle. But yeah, like here's a detailed shot of the wool, which we'll get to. I think this is probably the best part of it, funny enough. So here's some early ones. This is pretty good, actually. I think it's pretty good. I like this angle, childlike. So the impetus of the idea was that I was like, hey, I'll do a Baby Yoda. I want to make it a little bit different. So I'm going to try to do like a laughing baby, like when my baby laughs, it's awesome. And I thought, hey, maybe I can blend it, make it a little bit more baby and a little bit more, laughing and stuff like that. So that was the impetus of the idea. That's what I tried to do. In retrospect, I think it was a mistake for me to not try and create more of an authentic Baby Yoda like from the show. So in my personal work for fun, I try to stay away from likeness and reproducing things 100% for the most part, especially recently, just because it's a different mindset when you do that. It's much more about accuracy and measurement. And for me, that's not as fun. I like to try to be more free feeling and just have fun and play around. So that ends up meaning that things come out with a different spin naturally. And I'm generally okay with that. In this case, I think it was a mistake because the team at ILM knocked it out of the park. And the original, sculpted by Stuart Freeborn, that was in The Empire Strikes Back, is the amazing character that started it all. I think these characters are now like iconic. And so in a way, no matter how good I did it, I don't think I did a good job, but no matter how good I did a Yoda of my own, it would never be as good as that. It's just gonna, people are gonna see it and go, huh, doesn't look like the character. That's natural. So I think that was kind of a mistake. And it took me way too long to realize that, but that's okay. So I ended up making another kind of Yoda, So it's like a different one, just not as good. So these early ones are pretty good, I think. So one of the other problems was I just started iterating and it got out of control. Another testament to how good the character is I was getting a lot of feedback, a lot more feedback than I normally would. People are interested, in the character. My wife cared a lot more about something I was making than she usually does. So I got a lot of different feedback from a lot of different people, and it was kind of different stuff. And I think because they all have kind of a personal feeling towards the character and they expect certain things, and I wasn't nailing it, so everyone was trying to express that weirdness, So let's go back, see some older ones too. Yeah, see, this is starting to get weird. This is actually later on than the ones we showed. So you can see it's starting to spiral, starting to get worse. So the more I work on it, the worse it's getting. Now the head's all big, it looks ridiculous. Now the head's small and it's dark. Why is it getting darker? I don't know. Why is it getting darker? Okay. Yeah, now he looks like an old man. So another kind of thing that was interesting, kind of learning experience, was I got a little small slice, a taste of what the design teams on all the different Yodas, and there have been a lot of different Yodas, and for this reason, the narrowness of success. Like, I think the solution to a character like this, to get that balance, to strike a balance as delicately as you can, takes iteration and time. So, and that's against what I was doing. I was just kind of, messing around on my nights for a couple weeks. So I was just going to try to be happy with what I came up with. But it's so easy to get to be too creepy or too old or too young or too alien, my proportions aren't that great, that kind of stuff. And I really could see like, wow, you could iterate this for a long time. That's how you would get it to be, as good as you can, as close to perfect as you can. And that's what they did. And I think, again, on the show, it's just so good. It's crazy. Here's another dark one. Here's some blurry ones. So here, let's go down to some older ones too. Oh my God. Oh man. Wow. It's crazy looking at these old renders now, because it's like, what was I thinking? Like, if I saw this, like, this scares, I feel hot. I feel dread looking at this. So, it's crazy that I wasn't freaked out or something. So one of the parts of the workflow that I'm trying to do for fun is to just get things laid down fast and then kind of iterate. So another thing I learned on this one, another mistake, was that I was too fast, I think, in the early stages and too slow in the later stages. So I didn't give it the time that I should have and the focus to make the model in a good enough place, just minus detail, let's say, and then set up the shot. I went to set up the shot real fast, as you can see, and it's, damn. Oh man. Oh no. Yeah, so, oh my God, that's a paint over? Wow. Damn. It's crazy looking at these. Like, what was I thinking? It's only 2 weeks ago, but it seems like, Jesus Christ. So when you look at these, like, the final one is like, you're like, okay, I kind of landed the plane. It's like, you know what I mean? So I don't think I fell on my face, but it was uncomfortable for too long. And yeah, so I think overall it was a failure, and I'm not going to put it in my portfolio. I might come back to it later on. It might be a fun project to kind of like try to turn it into a success. But right now I just want to keep moving forward, move on to the next thing and put it behind me. But I thought, good opportunity to just make a video and talk about this. Like, making stuff is what's the important thing. Not everything's going to be a hit. Not everything's going to be a winner. And sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable, but I learned some stuff. And I think the most important things are the things I learned from the failures. Like, the starting too fast, not giving it that amount of time, not really planning it that much. Like, another shortcoming of this whole thing, even the final one. Okay, so even this final one, this is still kind of weak sauce. It's just like, I went through all the trouble of making the model, I could have had him do anything. I could have him be like evil Yoda, or holding something, or I thought later on, like, oh, his arms like going up, like, pick me up, just try to be really cute. But in the end, it just kind of and that's just such a waste. I put him on Tatooine. I thought that'd be kind of cool. Again, I feel like there's a lot of just first draft feeling things because I jumped right in. And again, I didn't focus too much on the model. I just got to the render scene so fast this time. I don't know. I think I think also I'll be better at making better decisions more quickly, and just give it a little bit of thought, because, in the end, I'm making this image, really. So the image is what's important. So it's silly to kind of box myself in so early. So anyways, that's a big thing to take with me. The when to be accurate, when not to be accurate, I think is pretty crucial. And also what to do with iconic characters. I don't think it's as beneficial to do a spin. If you're not going to do it accurate, then you got to really like mash it up, make it interesting, so that when people are scrolling on the internet, people's attention are so small now. You don't want someone to just see and go, huh, that's it. I mean, and look what happened. It just is like, eh. And so I went through all this trouble and I ended up getting something that's kind of mediocre. Some of the positives. The positive of this experience is that I learned, some of these little things. Also, I mean, let's just little humble brag here. I think the wool collar is pretty good. So the first thing I did, the first night actually, was I did a test in Xgen and Maya to make sure I could do it. So I made this and then I saved it as a preset, and then I made the model and I threw it on there. So there you go. So that's probably the biggest win. Kind of sounds weird to say that the best part of the image is the wool collar, but I think it's true. I got to try out some new workflows, some normal, I'm working on the workflow of being able to make things a little bit more quickly and using some of the rendering and material stuff that I like to do. I got to try out Megascans. I did a little set instead of an image background, which was fun. I don't know if that's practical, but I actually made the floor with displacement. I scattered some rocks with the mesh network and I played around with the camera. Anyway, some geeky stuff that I got to play around with that I wanted to play around with. I got to play with some lighting setups. I did this kind of backlit look that is, used a lot in the show and kind of a classic photography technique on a hot day or on a sunny day to have your character or your subject backlit so the sun's behind you and then you bounce some light. So I tried that. I don't think it was 100% successful, but it was something fun to play with, and I thought it would help make it look a little bit, different, not so perfectly lit. And another thing to remember, it's important to always be making something, dive in and try stuff out, even if it doesn't work out, and remind yourself that you don't know how it's going to end up. I never know, you'll never know what all you're going to learn when you go through the process of making something like this, just doing a project, having a little journey, doing something. On the other side of it, you're going to be a little bit different, and that's cool. And you're going to take some things away that you didn't expect. Maybe some things you did expect, but there's always going to be things that you didn't expect. And then you get to bring it on to the next one and the next one. And it's important to practice that last part, that finishing part, trying to rescue something or trying to land that plane, trying to make something presentable, because that's mileage that you'll get that you wouldn't get if you abandon work. So I think that's another important thing to remember. Just try to make stuff, just keep making stuff, don't overthink it, and really try to finish in the best way you can, then move on to the next one and try to make that next one better than your last one. And I think that's the simplest recipe to growing and continuing to make stuff as an artist. So I just wanted to share this with you. Some of the poop I made the last couple weeks and my thoughts and stuff. So hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully it's kind of entertaining to see some crap. You also don't have to show your terrible looking stuff to people. I think it's a good practice to just have all kinds of projects on your drive. You don't have to share anything. Not everything has to go in your portfolio. Not everything has to go online. A lot of it can just be for you. Everything could be for you. It shouldn't be about publishing it, okay? It should be about your growth. It's like working out. It's about personal self-improvement, and not everything has to be posted and shared if you don't want to. But I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you some stuff. Not everything's a winner, and it's okay, and keep going. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, and then I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
He could even steal the picture. That would be great if he does.